This is Rudy Giuliani, and I am here with America's Mayor Confidential. America's Mayor Confidential. We talk very low because we don't want the Biden people to hear us or the FBI. We should talk in code. You know, I can't believe that I left out of America's Mayor Live, maybe the biggest story of the day, the direct payments, monthly payments from Hunter to Joe. I never got any money. Go find the money. What else do they have to prove to put this guy in jail? I never saw a guy that's so hard to put in jail. You know how many times I thought this guy Biden was finished based on everybody else that I've ever put in jail? About 50 times. Now he's got this money that was laundered somewhat, but it clearly is Chinese money that his son is passing on to him from all the way up in upstate New York. I mean, this is not even a big deal in the sense that we already have seen Hunter paying rent to Joe for a house that Hunter owns. I want you to just focus on that for a moment. Who pays rent to someone for a house you own unless you are laundering money to them for another purpose, like filling out the obligation, which he very dutifully explained to his daughter that he had to give half his salary to his father. So when they say they didn't know what this was for, this is because they're lying to you. It's because they're lying to you or they're too damn lazy to look at the hard drive. Because if they look at the hard drive, they will see on the hard drive very clearly a email from Hunter to the daughter who has Secret Service protection for reasons I can't figure out, that Joe had to take care. Joe had his son as a bagman for 30 years. And the way he got the money was the bagman, Hunter, would pay all the expenses of the family, according to Hunter. And I had to give 50% of my income to my pop for 30 years. Neat arrangement, huh? And it sort of completes the whole circle, doesn't it? Like here, from the very beginning, the big issue was going back to the first of the 40 or 50 illegal transactions and bribes that have now come out. But right at the beginning, when I first brought this out in February of 2019, the issue was, why would a Ukrainian organized criminal oligarch pay? And what we had originally was $83,000 a month to two of them, right? To Hunter and Devin, for a total of $2 million a year. And it turns out a lot more than that, because it was the $5 million and $5 million payment, and then the additional $1.2 million laundered payment. And I don't want to get you all confused with the numbers, but why would he pay $1 million a year to a broken down drug addict who had just gotten thrown out of, it was within months of his being thrown out of the military because he couldn't pass a cocaine test. He lasted for 3 months in the military and he couldn't pass a test, which means he really is a pretty degenerate drug addict, because you think he could keep clean for a few months and not make a fool out of his father pulling strings to get him in the military, but he couldn't. So this rich, wealthy, criminal, possible suspected murderer, organized criminal, hires him and gives him millions. And he just knows nothing about oil and gas. He knows nothing about Ukraine. And his father just happens to be the vice president of the United States and the guy in charge of Ukraine. How much of a stretch it is to figure out he was giving it to him because of his father? Do you have to be like a genius to figure that out? Or do you just have to be a normal human being with a little bit bigger brain than Joe Biden and just use your common sense? Well, now we are starting to see, as the committee gets the bank records, we're starting to see what we always knew was going on, the money going to Joe. And of course, he gives half his salary to his father because they're paying him for his father. They're not paying him for him. They didn't hire him for what, bringing him Coke? What the hell does he do? He's not, or how about the Chinese? The Chinese did not invest $1 billion in a firm, a private equity firm, because of Joe Biden or the other distinguished partners. Joe Biden's partner, Devin Archer, who's headed off to federal prison for cheating Native Americans. John Kerry's stepson, who at some point quit because things were so crooked. And the one they leave out all the time, Whitey Bulger's nephew. Why would the Chinese give money to Whitey Bulger's nephew? Because the money was to get the influence and the involvement of the then sitting vice president of the United States of America. And to lock him up, which the Chinese do better than anyone I've ever seen, much better than the Russians did. They know how to compromise American politicians, and maybe it's easy because the Democrats certainly are so damn greedy. They would take anything that wasn't locked down. And the Chinese sure come up with big money. And it's not as if, we got to say one thing. They certainly didn't buy the Bidens cheap. And I'll tell you something, what I would like to tell Z, you didn't have to spend nearly that much to get these broken down bums. These were trailer trash guys, him and his brother. They were going for 5,000, 10,000. You didn't need $1 billion. Jeez. You probably would have gotten them for a nice $30,000 bribe. See, Chinese maybe aren't that smart. But in any event, this is absolutely hilarious. I never got any money from my son. Or how about the other one that, I never talked about I never knew about my son's foreign businesses. Well, we played for you a year ago, and then over again, as recently as about 2 months ago, the tape recording in which Joe makes it clear that he knows about his son's foreign dealings, particularly in China. And then there's another 10 pieces of evidence that prove it. The two meetings that he had, the two dinners that he had at the Milano restaurant, including with the crooked Russian woman who gave them $3.5 million. And Joe had dinner with Butarina twice at Cafe Milano. Had to know who she was because she was the wife of the outspoken mayor of Moscow, who everyone knew, including yours truly. And therefore, he had to know exactly who she was. He also had to know, unless he's even more stupid than I think, that she's a big player, that she was very close to Putin, that she helped Putin depose her husband as mayor of Moscow. As a result of that, she became even richer, that she's the richest woman in Russia. And also that, excuse me, that I don't have the rest of it, but there's no doubt a lot more money that went from Russia, including Butarina, to the Bidens. I just have 3.5 million. Excuse me. To me, 3.5 million is enough to put you in jail for the rest of your life for bribery if you're the vice president with Russia, getting it from Russia. And getting it from the crooked mayor's wife, as an investment in deals they were going to do in Russia, probably energy deals that would screw the United States, like the deals they did in China. A lot of the deals they did in China have the added problem of being deals that were very detrimental to the national security interests of the United States, similar to Hillary Clinton agreeing to let the Russians in on our was it uranium, plutonium, get 20% of it. I've forgotten which it was, but for that, Bill Clinton got $1 million speaking fee. I'm sorry, people don't get $1 million speaking fees, except if they're bribes. The Clinton Foundation, I think, got over $100 million from the Russians. And even with that, the biggest contributors to the Clinton Foundation, who are the biggest contributors to the Clinton Foundation? Can any of the geniuses that are here with me, all of whom are not paying attention to me and are looking at their phones?
China. I'm listening, Mayor. It's China.
What do you say, Ted?
I feel like we've talked about this before. I mean, they were both very confident with China, but I feel like Clinton. We talked about this the other day, and there's another location.
I'll give you a either a veggie or a fruit balance in nature if you get it right. Good.
I'm gonna say Qatar.
I keep mine. Come on, Ukraine.
Oh, I didn't think that. I was thinking Ukraine. Like they were. No, there's no way they would. There's no way they would do that out in the open. No, I was thinking Ukraine. I'm like, no, they would have had to do it a different way.
They own one of the oligarchs.
I'm so mad.
The oligarch they own. The
Kolomoisky.
oligarch. No, that's not Kolomoisky. No. The oligarch they own is the son-in-law of the former president who chopped the head of the.
We talked about this the other day.
He's the son-in-law of the former president who chopped the head off of the reporter. Really good guy. Another really good guy. The Clintons do it a little better. Imagine taking all that money from the son-in-law of a guy that chops the head of a reporter. And the reporters really love Clinton, but he doesn't mind if you chop the head. This was. I'm going to tell you the difference between me and the Clintons, and why what they're doing to me is so goddamn unfair. I mean, damn unfair.
Confidential. This is after hours.
First time I was in Ukraine, they wanted me to meet that president. I wouldn't do it. I almost got detained there because I wouldn't do it. I said, I'm not going to meet a guy who chops heads off. The Clintons not only met him, the Clintons' best friend was his son-in-law, and they've gotten hundreds of millions from him. What immoral people they are. See, I think the Clintons took the presidency into the dirt. And then Obama added the ideological communism to it from his training that he got in communism. And then Biden is just, Obama 2.
2.0.
Yeah, with no brain. And I mean, we got, Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy.
It's Obama's people. It's Obama calling the shots. But
yeah,
I've heard that.
And it also would be I mean, people say that Biden also got communist training, but it wouldn't have done any good. He wouldn't have understood it. I mean, there's no way the guy could read Das Kapital. No way. He wouldn't get through a page. I mean, I know him. I mean, I don't even think he can read comic books.
When someone puts a memo in front of him, right? I'm actually trying to imagine
it now.
Yeah, do they redo them? Is that I was going to ask you? How do you think they handle?
It would take them hours to get through the memo.
I mean, and the president. I mean, usually, if something's getting to the president's desk, it's not exactly. These are big decisions, right? If it's getting all the way to the president.
First of all, I wonder how much they actually tell him.
Yeah.
And just gets decided because he's too damn tired to. He only works half a day.
So there's probably some gatekeepers, huh? There's probably some people
that. No, I don't think he has I don't think this happens. Watch.
Yeah. When I hand you a full paper.
I think more like this. Oh, Mr. President. Look at the picture. See the picture of the ship? Oh, let me show you a picture. This is the ship. This is the Carney, Mr. President. See? That's a ship. And President said, oh, ship. Ship. That's a ship. I've been on a ship. In fact, I was on a ship when it was being shot at, and I saved the. No, Mr. President, please, please, we don't need it. We don't need another one of these. We don't need another one. We got plenty of these. I was on a ship. I remember. I was at Pearl Harbor. Mr. President, I don't think you were born. I don't know. I'm not sure you were born then.
But just I always
he was actually
wondered.
born before Pearl Harbor. He was actually
before Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, he was born. He was born before Pearl Harbor.
He was there fighting Corn Pop.
Yeah,
that's what he was doing. That's what he was doing.
Wouldn't you love to meet Corn Pop?
Who's Corn Pop?
We
still gotta find out where he is.
We don't even know where he is.
Yeah, we gotta find out.
You don't believe he exists? Are you?
Oh,
do
of
you?
course he
I mean,
exists.
there are a lot of theories about Corn Pop.
Oh wait, you're right. He may not exist
I don't think he exists.
because Biden said this.
I have a different theory. I believe Corn Pop exists, and I think Corn Pop beat the crap out of him.
The real name was Esther.
I think Corn Pop embarrassed him. He went over to him and he said, "Please don't."
Esther was his name. His name was Esther.
Yeah, Esther, please don't get in the way. I want the children to touch my legs, not yours. And particularly the very young ones. The younger they are, and you better leave the young children alone because they're for me.
We got to get some of his sayings. We got to have ready to go so we can. It's the sound effects, right?
And then I think Corn Pop said. I think Corn Pop said, "You keep your hands off those kids, damn it, or I'm gonna whack you all over the place." And then one day he was in the pool, and he did what he always liked to do. He put his legs in, and the children started playing with the hair on his legs, and Corn Pop beat the crap out of him like you would any pervert, right?
Right.
In those days, back in those days, they were not, very tolerant of perverts.
This sounds like a real made-up story. A tough guy by the name of Corn Pop, leader of the Delaware gang called the Romans, was waiting for him outside a pool. Biden was telling Corn Pop was a bad dude who had a bunch of bad boys and was armed with a straight razor and backed by a gang member.
Ready. Let's bring it up here.
Wow.
We'll play that.
That's a really.
You got a picture of him?
Yeah.
No, I don't have a picture.
No, I'm gonna play it right now.
You're gonna get.
Have you ever heard of a gang member named Corn Pop?
No.
I mean, the guys in Brooklyn would not imagine if a guy was named Corn Pop in Brooklyn.
You would get beat up.
Yeah, Corn Pop, get the hell out of my gang.
Not even mobsters would name themselves Corn Pop.
Yeah, AKA Corn Pop.
Corn Pop.
Joe Ruffalo, AKA
Corn Pop.
Corn Pop.
Yeah, whatever.
Get out of here, Fugazi. Get out of here.
Fugazi.
A lot. And I learned that,
thing they called
it makes a difference. This was the diving board area, and I was one of the guards, and they weren't allowed to. There was a 3-meter board.
He had expertise.
If you fell off sideways, you landed on the darn cement over there.
What do they call Uncle
Corn Pop?
What do they call him?
A Fanook.
No, Fanook. Yeah, that's right.
You're a Fanook.
I took it off.
And then he got so upset. It was just vicious. He beat up his girlfriend. You remember? Oh, it was terrible.
Wow, that's interesting.
So now let's talk about the big screw up.
Close it
For the NCAA. Huh?
All right, so now we'll talk football.
So they thought they had it all. They thought they had it all solved, right?
That's right.
First, they went to this national championship game, right?
They went to 10 years ago. They made the switch,
and that one got tough because how do you select? Just out of 2. So then they went to the playoff system, and this was going to solve all problems.
4. We're going to pick 4 teams,
and now they got a big problem.
Nice.
So now they have. Let's see if I can use this here. I can move it around here like this and use this while you're talking. I'm gonna.
All right, we'll play a clip. We'll play a clip. So let's play a couple football clips.
Write them out here for our people.
That's all it is. But there's a lot of airspace to cover for Milroe. Still looking, firing, near corner. It's caught. Touchdown, Alabama. Isaiah Bond.
We always keep thinking we've seen it all, and we never have we?
Bond. Isaiah Bond.
Florida State undefeated season.
I remember in the last several years, Auburn beat them for the national title once, right?
About 10 years ago. Cam Newton.
Was it that long ago?
2011.
Time goes fast.
2012. It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the same thing. 10 years ago. That's crazy. And then here's one more.
Auburn 28, almost the end of the first quarter. Travis.
Actually, turn this off. So we want to warn our audience because this is a leg injury.
Did Auburn win only once?
When? All time?
Yeah.
I believe they've won it more than once. Let's check.
But Alabama beat them twice in that period of time, if I recall correctly.
Once. They beat them at least once.
1-1?
Yeah, so 2010, Auburn claims the title in 2010, and then
they have 14 national championships.
And then
who?
Auburn.
Yeah.
14?
Yeah, 14, yeah.
That seems like a lot.
The Auburn Tigers have won 14 total NCAA team national championships.
Okay, so
but does that mean football?
I believe so, yes.
No.
And if they did, then they're from like 100 years ago.
It doesn't mean football. It means national champion of all kinds.
Yeah.
Basketball.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yes. Let me check football. I'm sorry.
The 1 seed is Michigan.
Yep.
The 2 seed is
Washington.
5 championships, Mayor.
5 football.
Football, yes, sir.
And how many has Alabama won?
Let me check.
Number 3 is Texas. Number 4, Alabama. Number 5, Florida State. Number 6, I believe, is Georgia.
18. Since 1892, Alabama won 18 national championships. That's football.
See about Notre Dame.
Okay.
Are you showing them that?
No, Ohio State is number 7.
Well, somebody's got to say something then.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. We're talking. Well, all right, I'm gonna play another clip, but I want to warn people: the clip I'm about to play,
yeah,
it is an injury. So,
oh, you think they're that delicate? They're gonna have trouble watching it? No.
28 almost.
So, okay. So what's happening here is, in college football, right? 4 teams go to the playoffs. There's 5 major conferences. So really, right? You'd think out of every year, 4 of the 5 conference champions would make the playoffs. So that's what happened. However, of the 5 conference champions, 3 went undefeated.
So
3 of the 5 went undefeated.
Undefeated was Michigan, and they were what?
Number 1.
But what number of wins?
Everyone plays 13 games.
13-0?
13-0. Washington, 13-0. If you're in the championship game, you play 13.
12-1.
Texas, 12-1. Alabama, 12-1. Florida State, 13-0. Georgia, 12-1, not conference champions, right? Georgia lost. The top 5 there you have listed, of course, Mayor, are the top 5 teams in the country and how they were ranked at the end of the year. As you can see, those 5 there. Those 5 are.
Can everybody see them?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, how you had it to the side is good. Put it to the side so we can see your face.
Well, I want to show you. They don't need to see my face.
Okay.
11 national championships for Notre Dame.
Can they see it here?
Yeah. So there you have the list, folks, right? There you have the list. 5, the top 5 there, each one of them represents the winner of one of the big conferences.
4 get into the championship.
There are 4 get in.
There are 2 championship games. This one here is the Rose Bowl on January 1st, right? That's 1 and 2. Michigan, no. Michigan and the lowest seed,
1
Alabama.
and 4 play each other at the Rose Bowl.
2 and 3 play each other
at the Sugar Bowl.
At the Sugar Bowl, and that'll both happen on New Year's Day, and then a week later, whoever wins will play the national championship. But isn't there something weird here? Look at this one.
Florida State at number 5.
What are they doing number 5 when they've got a record just like these guys?
Put a red line under Alabama. Right?
I mean,
it's interesting, and it's going to get more interesting, and we're actually going to tie it to politics at the end. Because, look at number 4 and look at number 5. Number 4 is University of Alabama. Number 5 is Florida State University. Where is Florida State University located? Is it in Tallahassee?
Tallahassee.
It is in Tallahassee, the home of where the governor's office is. What's happening at the so who lives in Tallahassee right now as governor of Florida?
Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis.
Okay. Okay. So who has a debate this week on Wednesday?
He does.
And do you guys happen to know where that debate is?
Only because you told me, so I'm going to let you give credit.
I wish, but no, Mayor. All right. That debate happens to be on the campus of the University of Alabama. And Alabama just took Florida State's spot in the national.
And DeSantis has already expressed his
in a very nice way, by the way. You wonder if I don't know. Yeah.
Is he a big football? I think he's a big football.
Yeah, it's not. Isn't his brand? I think sports is, but I also tend to agree that there's so much happening in the world right now. As much as people love their football, right? Especially in this, maybe
yeah. He was a
he's right
baseball
not to
player.
make
He was
it.
a baseball player in school.
Big time. Yeah, big time, including at Yale. But I find that interesting, right? Here he is in politics. He's got the big debate with everything happening in the world. And I bet you from his friends, he's hearing a lot from his Florida State alumni.
Oh, yeah. And they're big in Florida, the Florida State and the Florida alumni and the Miami alumni. They have a big rivalry with each other.
Gators and Florida State, big rivalry. Huge.
The Gators of Florida State?
Florida and Florida State have a huge rivalry.
So Florida State is the Gators?
No, Florida State's the Seminoles and Florida is the Gators.
So they're named after the Native American tribe.
For now.
Correct.
The
For now.
Seminoles.
Yeah, for now. For now.
Hopefully they can protect.
Are they going to change the Seminole golf course?
I'm surprised they haven't yet, to be honest, right?
You know,
but I think it's swinging back in our way.
At one golf, I think maybe they took the Indian off.
Oh, I'm sure you won't see that anymore.
So how do they justify this?
Well, President Trump is actually blaming Ron DeSantis because of his bad lobbying.
I think that's it.
He was doing it in jest.
That's got to be a joke.
Yeah. Let's blame the sanctimonious.
He said Ron Sanctimonious horrible lobbying. That's why they.
But it is funny how, right, Mayor? It comes out, and the mayor said it as soon as I told him, right? It comes down to a committee. You know right away then this thing's done.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, here I'll tell you I know the argument. I was just asking Ted. The argument is that Florida State, although it has a 13-0 record, it is true for purposes of, before we get to the national championship, I think, and most people know enough about football to know that every week from the beginning of the season, they rank the teams.
Mm-hmm.
So even going into the season, they have a presumptive ranking of number one. So let's say Michigan wins the whole thing this time. Okay. Unless something strange happens to Michigan, they get disqualified on something or some players get hurt.
Well, that's funny you say that. They are kind of roped up in a big cheating scandal this year.
Unless that scandal really puts a crimp on their team, they'll come into next season presumptive number one.
Yes.
Just the way
that's right.
Georgia did this year. Because Georgia won last year. So Michigan
plays Alabama.
From the beginning of the season, they rank number one, number two, number three, number four, number five, six, 7, and then they change based on wins and losses.
Yes.
But one of the weights given in the ranking is the difficulty of schedule. So just because you have let's take a normal record like 5-3, and the other guy's got 5-3, you may be way ahead of the other guy, because your record is the 10th most difficult, and theirs is the 50th. So tell us the difference between Alabama. How difficult is their schedule?
They have the 5th most difficult schedule in the country.
And Florida State.
Florida State had the 55th.
So that's a big difference, correct?
Huge difference.
Now, just for the heck of it, what would Michigan be? Do you know, Ted?
Ask again.
Do you know? Do you know what the Michigan difficulty of schedule was?
Let me look that up. I will say it was nowhere near. I can't imagine it was near Alabama.
But didn't they play in the national championship last year?
We lost. Michigan lost to TCU.
But who did Georgia beat last year?
TCU in the championship.
Oh.
Michigan
4
had the 47th.
Oh.
Ranked. I want to make sure I get this right. 2023, Michigan is down at 47. Yep. And we had Florida State at
50. You missed it.
According to this, ranked 50. So this is more sports betting, which is different than the official one, but it's close. Florida State, again, the 50th.
So why doesn't Michigan get knocked down a little?
Well, that's again, right?
Now,
That's funny,
Washington?
right?
What did Washington have?
Washington had a tough schedule. Washington Washington had a lot of tough
down a little bit.
32.
So why isn't Washington ahead of Michigan?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Send the schedule. It's interesting how
if
that
their
works.
schedule was more difficult than Michigan, they have the same
Michigan
record.
beat Ohio State, they would say. But you're right. Washington beat Oregon twice, and Oregon finished top 10 in the season.
And how about
maybe number
Texas?
9.
What was Texas' difficulty of record?
And Texas, being in the SEC, you'd imagine it had a
tough one.
Number 17. Right.
Wow.
So Florida State, unfortunately, took a hit for being in the ACC, really. And some say there's SEC bias.
Yeah.
Right. And look, obviously, TV, these people would much rather see a Michigan-Alabama semifinal than a Michigan-Florida State semifinal where they're on a third-string quarterback. Right. Florida State's a big-time program. Don't get me wrong.
The quarterback hurt them a lot.
The
too. The fact that he got injured,
and it's still not the same brand.
Their starting quarterback
Alabama.
got injured, and they didn't play. They won, but they didn't play dominant football as they did under their star quarterback.
I mean, the league. I mean, they're salivating over a Rose Bowl between Jim Harbaugh and the University of Michigan Wolverines versus
who may
Nick
be
Saban and
the whole year next year.
Alabama. Yeah, exactly. All the storylines, right? You got Nick Saban, the ultimate coach's coach, against Jim Harbaugh, who some see as a cheater, someone who doesn't belong in college sports. Alabama, the ultimate program, against Michigan, which is the most storied program, but hasn't won as much as Alabama. North versus South, right? The Yankees of the North, Dixieland, right? Alabama doesn't get much more Southern than Alabama.
Let's finish our discussion on our favorite topic, politics.
Let's do it.
So Wednesday night
debate.
There will be a debate in Alabama between DeSantis.
Who's all going to be at that debate?
Haley, and
Vivek
for sure. Question mark about Christie as to whether or not he's got enough either money or contributors. He's having trouble with the qualification with regard to his number of contributions.
He might not make it.
He claims he is going to make it, but of course, what else is he going to say? He claims he is going to make it, but the question is, will he have enough in time for the debate?
So there might only be three.
There
might be three?
Yeah.
Oh, because Tim Scott was on the last one, right?
There might be three. Right.
Wow. Was there 6 last time?
No.
There was 5?
Yeah. So.
Wow.
So it'd be a good debate. The more narrow it becomes, the better it becomes, right?
Right. And of course, Governor DeSantis is feeling his oats with that big win at versus Newsom.
Well, we call it a win because we look at it from the Republican point of view.
Yeah, you're right.
But a lot of the polls made it a draw.
Actually, you're right. I saw that. I noticed that too. But I knew that within 5 minutes of the debate, we both knew
it'll be a draw.
They're talking to totally different audiences.
Yeah. It'll be a draw because the country is split in half.
Yeah.
And Republicans say DeSantis won, and Democrats say Jerk Boy won.
Yeah.
And then other people just don't know.
So when the dynamics are going to be interesting, the media, they're going to make it about Nikki versus Ron, with Vivek kind of playing the annoying guy.
And Ron has the whole ball of wax invested in Iowa.
That's right.
It's all Iowa.
So he has to come in second, doesn't he?
Where President Trump was on Saturday.
You got to come in second for sure. He got to come in
a strong second, or can he just win seconds?
Well, first of all, he's got to come in second, at least. If he comes in third, even if the numbers are low for both of them, but if he comes, let's say she gets 15 and he gets 13, which really means Trump trounced him, right? Mm-hmm. I think he's out because he's like 6th in New Hampshire. And I don't think there are people who lose in Iowa and then win in New Hampshire, but I don't think it's him. I don't think he put the time in New Hampshire in order to make that happen.
As of this poll today, Mayor, you got DeSantis at 17.7 in Iowa, Haley 15, Vivek 4, well, almost 5, and Chris Christie 3.3.
We don't call him Fat Boy.
Hey, we do not refer to him as
Fat Boy.
Fat Boy.
Sorry about that.
No, Fat Boy.
He can't help it.
Yeah, DeSantis just has a tiny.
He can't help it that he can't stop eating.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We will not refer to Chris Christie as Fat Boy.
DeSantis has a 2.7% edge over Haley right now, as of today.
So okay, we got all these geniuses here. Political. You ran for office. You ran lots of campaigns. and I ran for office a few times.
And one.
And lost too. Particularly in a primary, the New Hampshire primary. So what do you think? I have a feeling that may change because we're too far from the primary, but I have a feeling for now.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I want to see what you think first.
I think
I won't change what I'll write down.
they're all.
Hold on. I'll write down what I think.
Yeah, you write down what you think. I'm thinking.
I'll write down. I'm not going to be influenced.
Yeah. So I really think that's gonna. They're almost all locked in. I have to read about what's happening on the ground in Iowa, right, to really know how this caucus is going to go. I think the debate ends with Nikki Haley coming off as the winner. I'll predict a Nikki Haley victory. I'm going to end up thinking Vivek won, but the media is going to say Nikki.
What do you mean won? I mean, you think he's going to pull it out? I mean, in terms
Vivek,
of number of votes?
Oh, no. I guess you're right. So performance-wise, I think Vivek's just a much better debater. However...
Oh, you mean the debate? I'm talking about who's going to win the primary now? The caucus.
Trump won.
Lucky Maria wasn't. If I called it primary, she'd throw something at me.
The Iowa caucus, it's going to go Trump. I'm going to say Trump,
DeSantis.
Haley, DeSantis.
Ooh.
I'm going to predict because Haley got the endorsement of that group that really has some on-the-ground people. And you know how momentum is, Mayor.
But DeSantis
momentum's heading the wrong way.
DeSantis got the minister for $95,000.
He got the $95,000 minister.
And he got the governor for who knows what.
So let's do the first two states. So I'll say for Iowa caucus, Trump, Haley, DeSantis. New Hampshire, I'm going to say Trump, Haley, who's third there? Is it going to be Christie or Vivek?
Christie's third right now.
I don't think Christie ends up there in third.
He's killing DeSantis right now by like 6%.
I'm gonna say. So what was number 2?
Killing DeSantis?
Sorry, Trump, Haley, Vivek. I'll say
New Hampshire.
Are we on New Hampshire?
In New Hampshire, Christie.
Trump, Haley,
Oh,
Vivek.
God, I wish we had Dr. Maria here. She knows New Hampshire better than we
Christie's
do.
gonna be
I got the poll right here.
All right.
I don't care.
Well, Paul, what do you think's going to happen?
I know. I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen, but I would like to see.
I just told you my thoughts.
Can we find Dr. Maria?
I'll call her. You want to go, Mike?
Tell her we need a quick last minute appearance. It doesn't have to appear, just a statement.
For Iowa, I think it's going to be Trump.
I have Iowa already figured out.
All right. So New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Trump, Haley, Christie. Because they don't like DeSantis in New Hampshire at all. They don't like DeSantis in New Hampshire. They're not a fan of him. So I think it's gonna be Trump, Haley, Christie.
And where do we put Vivek?
Fourth. I think Vivek beats DeSantis in New Hampshire. I think so. Because they're neck and neck right now. So but if DeSantis does well in the debate.
What do you think? I'm going to call Dr. Maria, but while I do that, Mayor, what do you think? Just to keep this going.
Just to make the numbers work, here's what I think. I think Iowa is 60% for Trump.
Hey, do you want to come on?
We need an opinion. No. So here's what we got. We got Trump 60% for me. Haley in Iowa, 20% for Haley, 15 for DeSantis, and 5 for Vivek.
That's Iowa?
That's Iowa.
Okay. What about New Hampshire?
New Hampshire, I got Trump at 50, Haley at another 20, Christie half that, 10.
Yeah, I see. Yes.
Vivek and DeSantis tied at 5.
Me and the mayor on the same page.
Vivek and DeSantis tied. Probably, I agree with you. Vivek will probably beat him by a little.
Like a
6-4.
They don't like DeSantis in New Hampshire for some reason. They're not a fan of him.
And you see what'll happen is he'll really sink if he loses Iowa.
Right.
Whatever he's got, if he loses Iowa, her numbers will go up in New Hampshire. His numbers will go down. And everybody else's numbers will go up.
I think this debate is really going to, for Iowa, not New Hampshire's sake, I think DeSantis really needs to do good in this debate, or else Haley's going to jump him in Iowa. That's if he doesn't do well in this debate. That's my opinion. I don't know if you agree with me, Mayor.
You think he'll jump out?
No, I think Haley will jump over him in Iowa if he bombs this debate.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I think. So because she's right on his tail in Iowa. So
because it is possible that she'll. I mean, she can lose the debate.
It can go either way.
because they really went after her last time, and she sort of was a wise guy. She was kind of a wise guy last time.
Vivek destroyed her last debate. It was not good.
I thought so. If he hadn't gotten into that one statement
about her daughter, good.
If he hadn't done that one thing, I think he would have really wiped her out.
You don't do that. You don't attack families. Come on.
No, that was a dumb thing to do.
Yeah, that's low. That's low. You don't.
And that hurts him. Yeah. That hurts him broadly, even in the future. Very, very bad thing to do. He's going to have to do a lot to overcome that one.
Got to go to confession.
Well, let's see. We'll get a little more. We'll get Dr. Maria involved tomorrow in the New Hampshire thing because she really has a good feeling for it. I think she'll be up in New Hampshire tomorrow, so maybe she'll call in and tell us what the people are talking about. A couple of her friends really have a feeling for it, and maybe we'll line up some interviews this week in New Hampshire. We can do them by phone and see what the people up there think.
I like that idea.
You know, what feeling do they have? You know, they're really not affected very much by Iowa, except they're contrarian. Yeah. Except the only thing that could happen is if Haley, no. See, what will happen is if DeSantis wins in,
he won't win though. By winning, you mean second.
If he gets second in Iowa, New Hampshire, he might, in a strange way, he might do worse in New Hampshire. Because they don't like him and they'll deliberately go vote against him.
They literally do not like. He's almost in dead last in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
like Vivek is right behind him.
You know what he did? He made it too clear that his priority was Iowa, and the people in New Hampshire hate that because they feel they have the first primary. Because the Iowa thing is weird, and it's the reason why it never predicts the nominee. Just about. Because you win it based on who has the best small organization that can bring out a fairly small group of people that are going to be very, very loyal. And you can almost steal it. Great. And it has no reflection on your general popularity. Like Santorum won it. Is there a President Santorum? Even my good friend Huckabee won it. Is there a President Huckabee? But
it'll be interesting.
And some of the great presidents, like Ronald Reagan lost it first time out. Donald Trump lost it. Yeah. And there was a President Trump and a President Reagan.
I'm saying last thoughts, just watch tomorrow. Christie for New Hampshire, he's got Wednesday. He's got 5% more than Vivek and DeSantis in New Hampshire. So if he does well, he might go up too.
If he gets in.
If he gets in. That's right. If he gets in. But so watch.
To me, he never does well because he's so nasty. I don't know who thinks he does well.
He does.
MSNBC.
He thinks so. He looks.
I mean, all he does is attack Trump. I mean, it's
getting old.
Maybe if he were doing it in the general election with Democrats who hate him, but by and large, the Republicans, even the ones against him, maybe you got about 10% who really hate him. The other, then you have the group that just doesn't like the way he talks.
Right.
But many of them are coming around to Trump because he's getting beaten up so much. In a way, I think this is the worst time to be attacking Trump as a Republican, because I think Trump is getting a great deal of, I think he's getting a great many votes from people that might otherwise vote for him because they're beating him up so much. Yeah. And he's handling it well. He's handling it really, really well.
So another debate. So Wednesday, we'll have to see what time that's on.
Okay. So we'll be back tomorrow. We'll have plenty more on this, and we'll start getting ready for the debate. And we'll see what kind of progress Israel makes and how much more time they have to get rid of one of the worst terrorist groups in the world being propped up in a way that you never would have believed by an American president. Well, pray for the people of Israel. They're under tremendous pressure right now. Of course, pray for the people of the United States because they've taken away so many of our freedoms. But then again, thank God for being an American because we can get them back. It's in our hands. So tomorrow at 3, WABCradio.com, and tomorrow at 8, America's Mayor Live on X, formerly Twitter, or Getter, or Rumble, or Instagram. YouTube, or Instagram, or Facebook.
8 o'clock.
Okay, or you can just open the window and you might hear me screaming.